turn my sounds off. My bad, y'all. Let me turn my sounds off on my iPad. Sounds. Okay. Got them down. Now we're about to come back to our stream. All right. I'm just looking. Okay. All right. Move this up here. Move the comments over here. I got my sound. All right. All right. What we're gonna be doing today, man, is just talking about the first female pilot. The first female pilot. The first black female pilot. Her name was Bessie Coleman. Bessie Coleman. And what we're gonna be doing is today and every day is looking at primaries and showing you, and this was updated this year, January the 16th of 2020. Matter of fact, let me share my screen. Let me share my screen right quick. Oh, I'll do that. Yeah, let me see. Why am I mic muted? Why would it be muted right then? I didn't mute it. Oh, maybe I think I did mute it. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, so we gotta get more in tune with who we are. Let me keep my levels up here. Keep my levels up here. Well, no, I'm good. All right. Let's read. In 1922, aviator Bessie Coleman became the first African American woman to stage a public flight in America. Her high flying skills also wowed her audience. Who was Bessie Coleman? Bessie Coleman was an African American aviator and the first black woman to earn a pilot's license. First one. But because flying schools in the United States denied her entry, she taught herself French and moved to France. This is where she earned her license from well-known Caudron Brothers School of Aviation in just 7 months. So the just would mean it should have taken her longer. That's what I'm guessing. In just 7 months, Coleman specialized in stunt flying and parachuting, earning a living barnstorming and performing aerial tricks. Oh, right here, I need to have some music playing. Oh, okay, I could do that. She remains a pioneer of women in the field of aviation. Bessie was born on January 26, 1892, in Atlanta, Texas. She's one of 13 children to Susan and George Coleman, who both worked as sharecroppers. I'm sorry. Her father, who was a Native American, and African American descent. So this for all the ADOS people. He was a Native American and an African American. Left the family in search of better opportunities in Oklahoma when Bessie was a child. Her mother did her best to support the family, and the children contributed as soon as they were old enough. At 12 years old, Coleman began attending the Missionary Baptist Church in Texas. After graduating, she embarked on a journey to Oklahoma to attend the Oklahoma Color, Agriculture, and Normal University, which is now known as Langston University, and that is a HBCU. It's a small one, but it is one. It's right there, right now. Where she completed only one term due to financial constraints. I can understand that. In 1915, at 23 years old, Coleman moved to Chicago, to Chi-Town, where she lived with her brothers and worked as a manicurist. Ain't that something? I mean, just to see how, how did the first black pilot work her way from a manicurist? From a manicurist to a pilot. How many of you all are hairdressers or stylists and whatever, strippers, whatever? And you can work your way up to being a pilot. Not long after her move to Chicago, she began listening to and reading stories of World War I pilots, which sparked her interest in aviation. So yeah, that is a career change that you could have never imagined. Look how beautiful young lady. Look at that. Beautiful. In 1922, a time of both gender and racial discrimination, Coleman broke barriers. Coleman broke barriers and became the world's first black woman to earn a pilot's license. Because flying schools in the United States denied her entry, she took it upon herself to learn French and move back to France to achieve her goal. After only 7 months, Coleman earned her license from France's well-known Caudron Brothers School of Aviation. Though she wanted to start a flying school for African Americans when she returned to the U.S., Coleman specialized in stunt flying. Like, she wanted to start a school. She wanted to teach. And I guarantee you, she would have done it. But she decided to specialize in stunt flying and parachuting and earned a living barnstorming and performing aerial tricks. In 1922, she became the first African American woman in America to make a public flight. Tragically, 4 years later, she died when an accident during a rehearsal for an aerial show sent her plummeting to her death. She remains a pioneer of women in the field of aviation. And those are the sources. Those are the sources. Biography.com. All right. So, listen, I'm not trying to hear it. That is a wonderful example of how even in the face of adversity, we still we still excel, and we do it even today. We definitely do it today. No problem. No ifs ands or buts about that. We do it today, but we just still make so many excuses, man, on why things happen and can happen, and uh, it's just sickening. But when you look at women like Bessie Coleman, the first black female pilot in the history of the country, when you see this, how can you then come back and make excuses for why we can't be who we need to be right now? And she did all this in the 20s. In the 1920s, she did this. She did this in the 1920s, man. In the 20s. You know, black folks didn't have no real, opportunity at that point, man. But yeah, I mean, she did it. So this is only to serve as inspiration. Not beating anybody up about it. I don't get anything out of that. That's silly. I think if anything, we just gotta pay homage. We gotta look at the realities, and we also have to look at how we can learn from um, such an experience. Hold on. Yeah. We just got to figure out how we can learn from such an experience. That's all. And if we can do that, if we can some kind of way um, eliminate all of our excuses and just concentrate on, matter of fact, yeah, let me get a picture of her. That way I can have her right there. And I'm gonna take that. Yeah, I'm gonna take that off and put her right there. Yeah, let me take this off. Let me take this off and then put her where my Let me go back. So yeah, you gotta do this stuff on the fly. Save. I'm just gonna go right there. Then we're gonna come right back. Yeah. Yeah. This is who we talking about. What's she at right here? This is who we talking about right here. Bessie Coleman. I wonder what I wonder what she had to go through besides the obvious. I'm talking about within herself. Not to even get the courage. That's what I'm speaking about. What did she have to do, man, to even get the courage to be able to do it? I mean, she dropped out of college because she ain't had her funds. So I guess basically it's hustling. You got to do something. You got to fly a plane. You got to fly a plane. You better do something. I don't know how she jumped straight to that, but it's good that this account, this is biography.com. This is not, some sort of kook website, and and she just listening to war stories, listening and reading war stories on concerning World War One, and that's what sparked her interest. And yeah, man, that's pretty tough, to see exactly what it takes to just do something like that. Take that step of faith, man. That's big time. But right now we're gonna watch some YouTube and get some more knowledge on exactly what's popping, and we're gonna go from there. It's not gonna be long. We're gonna chill, but let's check this out.
Blacks had the same dreams, the same aspirations, the same love of flight, but they were barred for social reasons, had never cast a long shadow.
Out of this shadow stepped Bessie Coleman.
Bessie Coleman is a dreamer, and she's a risk taker.
She was born in 1892, before airplanes and long before equality.
Bessie Coleman was born in poverty to a large family in Texas.
As she was growing up, the dream of flight went from fantasy to reality. Despite her background, she was compelled to pursue it herself.
She was a manicurist, but she decided she loved the idea and the adventure of flying.
No one in the United States would train a young black woman to fly. But France had a world-renowned flight school that was more welcoming, if she could get there.
So she would work during the day at a chili parlor just to raise enough money for her travels to France, and at night she would teach herself French.
She raised money she didn't have, learned a language she didn't know, and earned an international pilot's license in 1921.
She's the first African-American woman with a license to fly.
And this was a real benchmark, not only for her race, but also for her gender.
Bessie Coleman is this amazing, strong individual who wouldn't take no for an answer.
With her pilot's license in hand, Coleman returned to an America fascinated with flight. Daredevil flight.
In the 1920s, barnstorming was a fascinating and exciting form of aviation where stunt pilots would go up and they do all types of tricks and aerobatics in their aircraft.
Barnstorming was part circus, part sport. Pilots competed for attention by pushing their planes to the limit. Bessie Coleman was no different, except she looked different.
Bessie Coleman Sitting behind the wheel of the plane was a sight to be seen.
She was a small little woman, but she'd go up in that aircraft and she'd do her loops and her flips and, recover from stalls at the very bottom and blow everybody away.
There's no one like her. There's no one who had this internationally recognized flying license and at the same time was a young black woman.
And for a blazingly short time, she was the most extraordinary woman in American culture, particularly for African Americans.
Hi, I'm Rex Moore with the Motley Fool in front of BMW's self-driving exhibit at CES in
All right, yeah, man. So that's it, Y'all showed it to your kids, grandkids. Bessie Coleman. We're gonna learn some history about black people. We're gonna learn some history about black people, That's what we're gonna be on right now. We're gonna learn more history about black people than we ever knew. Period. That's what I'm aiming to do, man. Educate myself and educate you. We get educated together. Get educated together. So, yeah, with that being said, man, we gonna wrap this one up. Y'all come back, hit the like button, subscribe. And I'm just offering a different perspective, man. We're not hollering and screaming. We're not gonna debate. We're just informing. We need people to know these people, man. We need to know these black women. Point blank. There's so much negativity going on, man. You got so many YouTube folks, man, who make a living, man, just dissing black women. You got so many websites and posts and stuff dissing black women. And I'm not saying they don't not worthy of some of that criticism, but they definitely worthy of some praise too. Yeah, I'm not telling anybody not to bang on black women, man. Do what you do, but at the same time, man, you got to have somebody there that can offer some sort of counter to the negative narrative. And if you know me, I am a contrarian by nature. I'm going against all, let's just say, practical and all accepted, widely accepted behavior. I'm going against it. I'm telling you that now. That's who I am. That's exactly who I am, man. That's all I do. So as much as the hate going on concerning black women, not only from the fellas, man, but from some black women. Like I said, I'm not saying you're undeserving of any critique. a lot of it is warranted. But make no mistake, you deserve more praise than you do critique. So I'm just here, man, to offer some sort of balance to the narrative, and that's all I do. I just try to offer a balance. I'm gonna be the other side on almost every aspect. I'm gonna be the other side. Point blank, I'm gonna be the other side. You like red, I like orange. That's just how I am. You know, why you don't like this orange over here, man? This orange got a nice color, you know. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this aqua, man. What's wrong with this aqua over here? You know, that's just who I am. Yeah, Bessie Coleman. You know, Bessie Coleman. Y'all tell your folks and do more research. This is not for this is not the end all. This is just where we're gonna start at. You know, this is just where we starting. We just starting here. And we need you all, you know, if you would like, man, y'all take it to the next level. You do the research, you provide the history for your kids to learn. Matter of fact, you know, next October, whatever, you go to work. Take your kids, you know, let your kids go to work like they're right here, dressed up like Bessie Coleman. I saw a lady dressed up like Bessie Coleman. I never heard of her, you know, and that's why I decided to kind of look her up and give her props, you know. If anybody in her family or anybody know anything about her, anybody around her family, and if you want to contact us, you know, just email me at problackwomen.com. problackwomen@gmail.com. You know, I definitely reach out and we can hook up and we can talk about it. You know, it is anything. I mean, she died so early, man. She died at 34 years old. You know what I'm saying? So that's tough. You know, it's gonna be tough really to get a full picture of who she was and you know, she was just getting started with life. Why is it doing? Okay, it might be my iPad. She was just getting started with life, you know. So when those sort of tragedies happen, man, you know, all you could do is just try to hope there's some sort of trail, you know, somebody pass, you know, word of mouth down and you know, if anybody has heard anything, I might do some more research on her, and see if it's a little more out there about her. But whatever is out there, it's definitely not gonna top her being the first black pilot in American history. You know, whatever she did, it ain't gonna top that. So honestly, yeah, we could really stop there. You know, ain't nothing she got out there that's gonna top this. You know, this is huge. You know, Bessie Coleman. You know, tell a friend, tell your kids. You know, do more research. I'm sure some books or something out there that's centered around her life. Y'all feel free to buy them. And again, let's just we gotta start acknowledging the good in our race instead of highlighting the bad every single day of the week, 24/7. You know, this channel is only dedicated toward the uplift and the praise of the black women in this country. Not only this country, but we're going to be global. It's going to be an international program. You know, it's going to be international. There are French, but you're talking about French. There are great French black women that, guess what, we don't know anything about. Do you know how many? Ask yourself, how many famous black African women you know? A country of over a continent of over 1 billion people. How many of those black people have died off in the last 500, 600, 700 years? How many of them you know? Exactly. Me either. But you're gonna know. We're gonna know. That's where we have to get better at. And we're gonna be doing this every day. Might be 3-4 times a day. We just highlight another black woman. Here go another black woman. And another black woman. Oh, you know, we talked about Betsy Coleman. I find out some more about her. You know, hey, we talked about Albertina Walker last week. Guess what? Update. You know, we're going to go through the discography. We're going to go through, you know, how many awards and listen to some songs, man. And, you know, just dig deep, man, into learning, educating ourselves on great black women. And we're not just going to be in the past. No. The past is going to be maybe the first 10, 15 minutes. Then we're going to the present. Simone Biles. Huh? You know, we got to even go with Oprah. You know, we got to give her props. You know, Whoopi, we got to give her props. Regardless, you know, where y'all fall in on her. You got to give her props. You know, we got to do it. You know how many black female music executives there are? Me either. I don't know. I'm going to know, though. And we're all going to find out. How many black female engineers there are right now? My sister's one. She works for a very popular airplane company. Right now. You know. And like I said, we're not just going to talk about Maya Angelou and Rosa Parks. No, we're talking about unsung heroes. Unsung black female heroes. That's what we're going to be devoting this channel to. It's going to be nice, calm, somber, and we're going to learn. But more importantly, I want you, as well as I, to do more research. We're going to get on Amazon. We're going to buy these little books, man. They ain't got to be no 700-page books. You know, it could be an 80-page book. You know, that'll be enough to 80 pages, man, is enough to cover almost everybody's history. You know, I'm talking about all the main parts. You know, all the main parts. I don't care who you call up. Barack Obama, all the way down. Barack Obama, you know, his book is not gonna be that big. Community activist, senator, president, father, husband. The end. You know, so we're gonna be. Let's dig deep, y'all. You know, let's dig deep. Let's dig deep. But this is Betsy Coleman, man. Y'all, if y'all want to call in, if y'all want to hit me up, y'all get on Skype. I'm on Skype. You can come in. I'll hit you up. Inbox your information. Leave it. Well, yeah, inbox. Yeah, what my inbox? I need to keep my inbox up too. think Skype works with your phone number. I won't be keeping your phone number. I have no desire to call anybody. You have to tell me to call you, and even then, I might not call you. This ain't that type of party. So let me log in right quick, and then I can check my inboxes on YouTube. Don't YouTube got an inbox? Oh no, email. Yeah, just email me at pro. If you want to join in, send your number to problackwomen@gmail.com. And again, it's a double meaning. We are pro-black women. We are not anti-black women on this channel. We are all pro-black women. And we highlight pro-black women, professional black women, you know. That's who we highlight. That's it. You know, so I got my email up. Matter of fact, let me add that right quick. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, yeah. I got my Gmail up. It's running. Yeah, so, you know, you inbox me your number. I hit you on Skype or put it in the chat. I got the chat right here too. So, I got everything open, man. Y'all want to call in or hit me up. I'm gonna send you the information, man. But we definitely want to give Bessie Coleman all the props in the world, man, for making that decision to jump out on faith and really knock it out the park. You know, she's gonna be forever known as the first black. Oh, they said they got a video of that? No, I don't want to see no video. Oh, okay, the Atlantic did a good one on them. Okay, let's look at the Atlantic. Yeah. Oh, let me skip this doggone stupid video. All right, yeah, this is
Her dream was to become a pilot, but her real ambition was to open up a flying school so that other blacks would be a part of this new industry.
They say I don't act right, it's unladylike, how I wanna live my life.
You heard the passion in that? Yeah. You gotta feel that, man.
1919, Chicago, Illinois. 27-year-old Bessie Coleman worked as a manicurist in a barbershop. She was inspired by the story of Harriet Quimby, the first woman to earn a pilot's license in the U.S. Then Coleman overheard customers talking about European women who served as combat pilots during World War I.
I thought, that's it, I'm gonna be a pilot. And everybody started laughing at me. Girl, sit down and grab that nail file. You ain't flying no plane.
The aviation industry back at that time, it was a white man's world. It was hard enough for white women. For a black woman, it was nearly insane to choose that industry.
I refuse to take no for an answer. If I can create the minimum of my plans and desires, there shall be no regrets.
One of 13 children, Coleman was born in 1892 in Atlanta, Texas, and grew up in a small cabin in Waxahachie. Her parents were African-American sharecroppers, her father part Cherokee.
Bessie was born literally on a dirt floor and picked cotton alongside her mom. There weren't any opportunities, quite frankly, in that time frame for a black woman, but she had bigger dreams.
I want to find a bigger life. I want to amount to something.
To be a pilot, you have to be adventurous. There's a fearless factor to it. I'm the first and only black female to fly the U-2 aircraft. And we don't have a lot of women in aviation. So our cadre is very small. Bessie Coleman was able to up the bar in terms of who could fly, despite gender and racial barriers of that time.
In 1915, Coleman joined the Great Migration north to Chicago, along with millions of other African Americans determined to escape racial violence and find new job opportunities. The 1896 Supreme Court case Plessy v. Ferguson had legalized racial segregation, ushering in a new era of racism against African Americans.
"1919 was the year of the Red Summer. A race war broke out across the country. That was the time of Birth of a Nation, the most racist film in American history that was based on the book, The Klansman. All across the South and parts of the North, there were lynchings. Harsh, harsh, soul-crushing times.
After 4 years of working in Chicago, in a barber shop and a restaurant, Coleman started applying to flight schools throughout the country, but no one would teach her.
Everyone thought she was crazy. She was A, black, B, a woman. When she realized that she needed help, she went to Robert Abbott, the owner of the Chicago Defender, pleaded her case to him about why it was important for there to be a Negro woman flying. He was really impressed by her and stepped in to support her in sponsorship.
After a year of French lessons, Coleman went to France in 1920 to enroll at a prestigious aviation school.
She didn't face the same obstacles in France. All they cared about was whether or not you had the courage and the willingness to learn how to fly.
You've never lived until you've flown. The air is the only place free from prejudice.
Like her, I like to push myself to that next level. How far can I take it? How much better can I be as a pilot? The U-2 is a challenging aircraft to fly. It's not for the weak at heart. You have a spacesuit. We fly typically above 70,000 feet. You start seeing the curvature of the Earth. You get to see how small the planet really is in comparison to the universe. Why are we so focused on skin color? There's just so much more out there.
Bessie went on to become the first, not only the first female black pilot, but she was the first to hold an international license to fly.
Coleman returned to America and became an instant sensation as a barnstormer, the latest craze in public entertainment.
In early aviation, it's seat of the pants flying, like the Wild West.
All of them risked their lives. Every single time they decided to jump out of a plane, to walk on a wing, to do a figure eight. These planes were open air.
As she performed around the country, Coleman used her newfound celebrity to take a stand against racism.
Bessie Coleman was an activist. She refused to perform in air shows where blacks were not allowed to use the front entrance. Jim Crow laws were very broad. People couldn't sit together, they couldn't come in together. She wasn't having any of that.
Blacks should not have to experience the difficulties I have faced. So I decided to open a flying school and teach other black women to fly, for accidents may happen, and there would be someone to take my place.
In 1923, Coleman succeeded in buying her own plane. A month later, it was demolished in a crash near Santa Monica, California. Coleman was pulled unconscious from the wreckage.
She broke several ribs and her leg. And from the bed, she said, "You tell the world."
You tell the world I'm coming back. The fact that I'm alive proves that flying in the air is no more dangerous than riding in an automobile on the ground.
In 1925, Coleman made her comeback with a barnstorming tour throughout Texas, including a flight in her hometown of Waxahachie.
Coming home to her family and seeing the pride in their faces and have all these people cheering, that's a success.
In 1926, while preparing for an air show in Jacksonville, Florida, Coleman was thrown from the open cockpit of a plane some 2,000 feet to her death. She was 34.
Her story is one of perseverance, overcoming barriers, keep wanting, push harder, don't give up.
Coleman's dream of opening a flight school for African-American pilots came true in 1929 when the Bessie Coleman Aero Club was founded by her friend and fellow aviation pioneer, William Powell. It inspired many outstanding black pilots, including the Tuskegee Airmen of World War II.
And year after year, they would fly low, drop flowers onto her grave in her memory. It's about the spirit of going for your dreams. When you are focused and determined, there are no limits. And she really proved that to us.
You can be somebody. You can fly high just like me.
All right. I'm sure, man. If that don't inspire you, man, I don't know what will. If that don't inspire you, I don't know what will. Point blank. That's crazy. We got to make sure that we keep women like that, man, at the forefront. Women like her got to stay at the forefront. Point blank. Point blank. Oh, it's so fuzzy now. Did I touch something? Oh, I did. Yeah, that's what's making it noise. Is the saturation up? Jeez. The saturation or something. Temperature, brightness. Yeah. Tint down. That's fine. Let's do that. Yeah, that look. the gamble. All right, yeah. So that's what's up, man. Y'all see, y'all saw what I saw, man. That's if you're inspired by that, I don't know what to tell you. You know, that was a great job that they did. That was a great job. Great job. The Atlantic. Shout out to the Atlantic. And I'm not a fan of them at all. But shout out to the Atlantic, man. Shout out to the Atlantic. That's a great job. They just did it. March the 4th. They just did it. That's brand new. A month ago. So yeah, the word getting out, man. One of 13 kids. The word is getting out. You know. The word is getting out. So with that being said, man, we wish you all adieu. You all be safe. Stay inside if you can. If you have to go out, that's understandable. Just make sure, man, oh, okay, I can add a Skype right there. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, matter of fact, let me make a Skype joint now. I didn't tell you to change. We lock that in. Oh, let me add a logo. No. I'm a logo. I'll do the black and white right there. What black and white at? You up there? You know, yeah, that's good. Let's lock that in. Drag this down. I'm gonna drag it down. Yeah. Cause we're not gonna be using it. Come right back to the iPhone with the logo. That good. Yeah. What happened? What in the heck? What happened? Oh. Oh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. So shout out to Bessie Coleman, man. Shout out. Man, rest in peace. But we've been on long enough, man. See y'all on tomorrow. Y'all hold it down and take it easy. 2 fingers.